Be strong.
A track that sits up near the Canada border in a beautiful area of the country. If you've never been up to it, you are definitely missing something. But one thing you will not miss tonight is racing from Road America. Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, our setting for tonight. And it's round number 8 of the TI Racing in the Grublets on Ice Indy Car Series. We welcome you into Road America. I am the captain, Chris Scala. Gary Gonzo, of course, joining me. A little bit of a, we'll call it a virtual rain delay happening this afternoon. A little bit of a session issue because of that. It pushed everything back time-wise, but we got it all worked out. The admins did a great job getting it all together, and here we are, 74 degrees. Perfect afternoon for racing. 86 on the track on this 4-mile, if I know correctly, the biggest circuit in America when it comes to the road courses here at Road America.
Mm-hmm.
Gary, this is a very, very fun track. A lot of speed, elevations, first gear corners, and tonight, strategy.
Yeah. We're looking at a possible 2 or 3 stop strategy depending on how they're going to start this race. It could be interesting if we have a full pace lap. We might need a 3rd stop. If they do a partial pace lap to start this race, we're looking at 2 stops. It's that close, and they're cutting it that absolute close on fuel. But even closer, maybe to segue into something else, is the point championship.
I knew where you're going with it, and that's where we set up right now as we enter. I thought we were going to have a new points leader after last week with Caleb Bensey having his issues. We don't have a new points leader. Caleb Bensey leads it by 1 point. Over Eric O'Connor. Dakota DeMed, he is right there, 12 points back. And then you got Ed Kerstetter, he is right on the mark, some 12 points back. And then you got Cohen Evans, 17 points back. Gary, I'm going to throw you on the spot here, and I don't mean to. What is the separation between first and second place in points?
Between the first and second place
Finisher.
in points? It's only 1 point.
Well, no, finisher.
Oh, what?
In a race.
What's the finisher in the race?
Yes.
I think it's actually
like 13 or
point.
something.
I think it's. I have to look it up real quick.
I knew I threw you on the spot.
Yeah, every
My
league's
bad.
a little different.
Yeah, I threw him on the spot. I thought he might know, and that's on me. But I think it's like 13 or 14 points is where I was going with that. So technically, the top 4 are only 1 position separated when it's all over with. That's where I was going with that question. When it's all over with, it's that tight.
Well, first place is 25, second place is 24, third place is 23, and so forth and so on.
Oh, you know what? I'm going off of the regular IndyCar series. I'm sorry. It is different here. It goes by 1 point separation. My bad.
Yeah.
Scratch that whole segment.
I thought I knew what I was talking about for a second. Yeah, there is literally only, if you're looking at the lower, where Evans, DeMed, and Kerstetter are, they're going to need a really bad day for the top 2 to really have them move up considerably into the rankings to get them closer. The other 2, they're only a position apart in any way. So in order to make some room, they're going to finish multiple positions ahead of each other. Otherwise, if they're just let's say one finishes the race and the other finishes in second place, we're kind of in the same boat come next week.
And that is going to be very interesting. You saw that guy in a few seconds ago in the orange jacket, like wondering, when's everybody coming around turn 5? That's where it looked like they were sitting at. So let's take a look at the team points because we have the opposite in that situation, TI Racing leads Raceverse by 1 point. Complete flip-flop, as you mentioned off the air. LMC Gear Racing 28 behind, and ETA Racing 84. And here's the cool thing. I got word of this earlier, and this is the award from last year. Went to, of course, LMC Gear. Bam, there's the plaque that the championship team is going to be winning this season. It could be one of a bunch of teams still in the running for this championship when it's over with last season, and I believe the season before that, LMCgear.com Racing. This year, it's a 3-team race right now. I mean, ETA still got a shot, but they need to pretty much lock out the field for the rest of the races to have their shot.
Well, let's be realistic. We're only looking at really 2 teams here now. I know LMC is there mathematically, but it's really going to take a lot of big finishes by Alex and Cohen at the same time. Alex has had kind of some inconsistent luck, and of course, also involved in that equation is Craig, who has the hand controls now, so it's going to make it a little bit difficult for him. They really need a lot of luck on their sides to bring them back into the race for at least the second spot. But in my opinion, really, with 3 races to go, we have this week, we have Pocono, and we have Spa. The teams that, if you want to look at the Team Penske and the Target Chip Ganassi teams of this particular league, that's it. TI Racing, Team Race First. Those are the equivalents over here, and those are the ones that we'll be watching.
And another driver we're going to be watching out there on the track tonight as we're getting ready to grid him up here, so we want to talk to him really quickly. Dan Morera joins us. Dan, my man, tonight, Road America. I know we don't get a chance to talk to you often, so we want to get you on the air here real quickly. Talk about the excitement. How do you feel about this track, and how are you feeling about tonight? That's not good. Well, I thought Dan would be here. Or you know what? That's why I brought him to the wrong room. We're in the waiting room. That's the problem. We need to go up to his room. So I'm going to move myself, and I'm going to move Gary. How about now we're in the better room here? Dan, sorry about that. We moved you up to the room that we're supposed to be in, but we're not because we're slackers. But Dan, let's talk real quickly. Road America, how are you feeling about tonight's race, and how confident you feeling in a good finish tonight?
Well, I'm usually at middle of the pack kind of a driver, but I feel pretty confident on this particular race. I like it. It's fun to drive. It's easy to be overconfident and make little mistakes that can cost you.
So, strategy-wise tonight, I'm hearing a lot of a 2-stop strategy. Is that what you're planning for tonight?
Absolutely.
Any chance that you could see people burning off their fuel, and maybe this happens to be a 3-stop strategy because of it?
It really depends. If you're pushing really hard on reds and you're racing hard with other people, then yeah, it's going to be a close one, definitely.
Well, Dan, we appreciate your time. We know you're getting ready to grid here. Go get them, buddy. And we hope maybe we can talk to you either on the podium or in Victory Lane tonight. And by the way, congratulations on your promotion up to the TI Racing team.
Thanks, man. I hope to do my part and learn from the faster guys.
Absolutely. That's all you can do. Appreciate your time, Dan, and Chris, of course, here as we get ready to get the green flag there. Dan, that's pretty much the big news of the night is Dan Morera got promoted up to the TI Racing crew. So congratulations.
Yeah, the Prime team.
To him on that. So he gets to run with the – not that he doesn't run with the big boys already. I mean, this is the big boys. But
well, the way that the TI team is –
right.
The way that the TI team is kind of made up is it's like in Formula One where you have Toro Rosso.
Right.
It's a little bit like the same where there's like a prime team and I don't want to say development team, but just another team there that they can draw from if they need to bring up a driver. And that's exactly what the situation called for. And congratulations to him. And big props to him anyways. He drives for my truck team, which is also one of those Toro Rosso type teams in TI and with the truck series they run. He's a great driver, and I love having him on my team.
Now, did I mention tonight is the LMCgear.com Grand Prix of Road America? As you know, the last couple of seasons, LMC Gear has been the title sponsor. Tonight, this season, it went to Grublets on Ice, but that didn't leave them out. LMC Gear is going to be a part of tonight as the race sponsor, and Jim Herrick, of course, joins us, getting ready to drive that 23 car tonight at Road America. Jim, talk about LMC Gear. Obviously, it's something that's been big a part of this series, and here you are tonight sponsoring the race.
Yeah, just because we're not the title sponsors this season doesn't mean we can't, participate and I had the opportunity to sponsor this race tonight and actually changed the track from Donington too, which was a big boost for me.
Well,
Yeah,
you saved
to
us
take,
airline miles. We appreciate that.
yeah. So yeah, hoping to have a pretty good race tonight.
Talk about you're doing something special this evening. I noticed there was a special kit in the mail that we were wanting to promote to our listeners and to the drivers tonight.
Yeah, just thought we'd give away a little special prize tonight. Just some gear. It's actually a new piece of gear that we're looking at, and it's so new it hasn't even been put on the site yet.
Ah.
So you can look for that later this week to show up on the website. But we're giving away a 25-liter dry bag. It's a backpack. It's a waterproof material. You can put your clothes, your cell phone, anything you want in there, and you wrap it up, and it stays dry, stays totally waterproof. You can drop it in the lake, and it'll float, and it won't ruin your stuff.
That's always a good thing.
Yeah, so when we decided that to make things a little more challenging to win this prize, it's going to not just go to the winner of the race, but it's going to go to the highest finisher with 0x tonight. So
Wow.
you gotta have no incidents tonight to claim the prize.
There you go. That's an awesome incentive that we're putting on the line here this evening. Now, Jim, real quickly, I know LMC Gear obviously is the big thing you've had going on. Of course, the broadcast booth here is we're in the LMCgear.com broadcasting booth, but you also got the race graphics going on also.
Yeah, a little side project we've been doing with Globex Racing Paints. Just helping do some liveries for some people, making a little money on the side, and it's been a nice little project. People seem to like my work, so we're pretty happy about that.
You do a pretty
You
good
can
job.
check us out on Facebook at Globex Racing Paints.
Well said, my friend. Well, hey, we appreciate your time. We know you're getting ready to go race out there. I didn't even see you get a chance to look. I know 11th, okay, not terrible. But yeah, obviously the strategy and stuff, how are you feeling? It seems like a lot of people are thinking a two-stopper.
I'm going to kind of play it by ear. I'm going to run this first stint and see how my fuel mileage goes, and then decide if I want to try and stretch it to two-stop or just run it out and just go for 3. The issues I have with the two-stop is on really light fuel, the car gets light on the back end, and you got to be really careful. And of course, you make one mistake like that, and then you lose all the time you saved. So we're just going to see how it goes here at the start.
Well, we'll see what happens here. We appreciate your time, Jim. Go get them. Your family's watching, and go try to steal one of those packs for yourself.
Yeah, it'd be nice to claim that for myself, but now we want to give that away and let some people see the kind of stuff we sell at Lightweight Motorcycle Camping Gear, and hopefully get the word out about us. So if I can, I just want to give a quick shout out to family, my nephew Jacob who's watching, and my wife my wife Sherry had knee surgery on Wednesday, and she's recovering now, and so I just want to give a special shout out to her. Hope she gets better quickly.
Absolutely. Well, Sherry, we hope you feel better too. Enjoy the broadcast tonight, Jim. You're gritting, so go get them, buddy, and appreciate your time.
Thank you much. Have a good night.
Absolutely. You too, bud.
Good luck.
And Jim Herrick starting, looks like in the 11th position. We'll get him down to his channel as soon as I get in the right Discord room to move him down to his channel. There we go. Bada bing. He is down there. So let's that worked out. I actually got nervous. I'm going to be honest for a second. I saw like a minute left in qualifying as Dan was talking. I'm like, crap, we're not going to make it for Jim. And then I realized, oh, yeah, we got like an extra 5 minutes of qualifying. So it worked out perfect for everybody. So, anyhow, let's take a look at the starting grid for this LMCgear.com Grand Prix of Road America. And you'll see it going across the top of the screen. Eric O'Connor going to be on the pole alongside teammate Isaac Morris. So TI Racing sweeping out to the front row. Coed Evans and Ed Kerstedt going to be on row number 2, and they will do a short start here. They're over, they passed Canada Corner, I think. Tom Carpenter, Dakota DeMed will start 5th and 6th. There's Caleb Benson, your your point leader, starting 7th, alongside Alex Van de Sant. It's a thought that matters. Craig Forsyth and Shane Coogan, you mentioned earlier, he wasn't making an appearance. He decided to pop in. Jim Herrick, Justin Miller, the Floridian, and Auto Club winner, starts 12th. There's Dan Marrero. We talked about him a little bit ago, making his TI Racing debut at 26. Andrew McMurray in the 809, going to start 14th. Joe Fierro. Matt Houston, not a good qualifying run on his part. I'll have to check on that. And Cody Claiborne going to round out the 17-car field. What are you thinking? Well, at this point, the cars are sitting there running. You're waiting to go, which is burning off fuel, and you're like, okay, 14 is 42. You pretty much cannot burn any extra fuel on even this foomph of a lap.
Right, and one thing a lot of people don't know, you can actually map the ignition and starter button on your wheel or a button box if you like, and hopefully maybe some of those guys have that mapped so they are not burning off that fuel at that particular time. But we're getting ready to come to green here, so let's see what this pans out. Are we looking at a 2-stopper or a 3-stopper?
I know one thing. We're looking more organized than any kind of IndyCar start here at Road America. We're going green. LMCgear.com, Grand Prix at Road America, as Eric O'Connor gets a big jump, and here comes Ed Kerstedt up the high side into turn 1, first heavy braking section.
Ooh, so tight.
A lot of cars on reds. To start this race, you do have to start on whatever tire you qualify on down to turn 2, second gear corner here.
Side by side, coming out of that corner right there. They're going to go right down into turn 5, and we're going to see a possible challenge for the lead here between these TI teammates. Rule one, don't wreck them.
Don't wreck them. And Isaac Morris running with no force feedback tonight, so I tried to give him some advice. Why? Because I don't run force feedback ever. That's just me. Figured I'd give him some advice to help him out with it.
That's like old school. I mean, that's like when I drove IndyCar Racing 2.
It's comfortable to me. I don't know what it is. It's just comfortable. Like, they're like, well, how can you feel a car sliding on you? Well, I don't know. I just can kind of hear my tires and so on and so forth. That's how I listen. I just listen to my tires. If I hear them squealing, I know I'm about to spin out. That makes sense? I mean,
yeah.
Down into the kink for the first time. No deer for Cristiano D'Amata.
Oh,
rest in peace, deer.
Coming out of Canada corner.
I was dying to say that. Oh, too bad jokes. Sorry. Anyways, I'm fired. I got Gary laughing off his mic right now. True story.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
I know you had that mic off laughing. All right, off the final corner, up the hill. Lap number 1 going to go to Eric O'Connor. He picks up where he left off last week. Leading that first lap, but not by a huge margin here. Isaac Morris, Coed Evans, Ed Kerstetter, Tom Carpenter, Caleb Benson up to the 6th position already.
Yeah, your first car on the alternate compound is Craig Forsyth in 9th.
And I just realized you guys aren't probably hearing anything. Not to mention I've got the... oh, this is good. That awkward moment where the first lap has the kid on the screen. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Push to pass on for Caleb right now down the straightaway to turn 5. Apparently turn 3 and 4 are back there. Oh!
Whoa!
To the grass!
That is down to the grass. Carpenter puts a block on Benson. Woo!
I don't know if that might not be looked at too kindly.
I don't think so, and I don't know what race control is thinking about that one. I'll have to take a look at that. That was a bit of a block. I didn't see the whole incident, so I can't be too judgmental. But man, anytime you get forced out in the grass, it's hold on to your breath and pucker up.
That looked like a reaction. That's all I'm going to say. Is Craig Forsyth goes wide over here, turn 6, going to allow Miller to go by, Coogan to go by. Craig still running with 2 hand shifters, basically on his hands. Again, I apologize for the first lap. I wasn't paying attention to the screen and noticed that the audio and the screen wasn't set up. My bad. But anywho, yeah. So at the look, and there is one cool feature. It was something that I talked about before. Last week, I said, or at the end of last week, I said one thing I need to look at is race control, and doing whatever we can because there was some confusion last week with what happened with Ed Kerstetter and a couple of incidents he was involved in. Well, good news tonight, we have it all set up, and basically if there's a penalty issued by race control, it will come up on the screen like an F1 broadcast. We tested it on the air, off the air. It worked out perfect. Let's see if it works on the air.
Pass for third, coming up here in the turn 1.
Yep, Cohen Evans to the high side, going to do it the hard way. Or actually, I'm sorry, I was head to the bottom. My apologies.
Head to the bottom,
yep. Spot. Yep, and then another pass back here as Dakota DeMed tried to make a move and had to get out of the gas, and that lets Alex Van de Sant go by for 7th.
So the cards that are on the hard compound, it's Forsyth, McMurray, Houston, Fierro, and Claiborne. Those are your guys that are on the prime compound.
Alex popping back out to run here for the 6th spot. Alex Van de Sant had his best race of the season last week, and I say that knowing that he actually had himself black flagged for causing an incident. So it was like
he had he had himself a pretty good week in general. He also won the Velocity Online Racing race at Gateway, and he just didn't win, and he dominated that one. So he is on a bit of a hot streak, and let's see if it continues tonight.
That Western Waves number 29 car there in front of the 80 of Justin Miller, the winner from Auto Club. Unfortunately, next week when we go to the place called Pocono, he will not be going for the award for the Triple Crown. So thankfully, Captain TV keeps it on for 20. Anyways, we got to pass up ahead here. But we'll see potentially 3 different winners, including one Gary Godso going for a win at Pocono next week. We'll have to see. But Alex makes the pass on Caleb again. So these guys playing almost like Mario Kart here. To go faster, you got to draft past each other.
Yeah, I had a pretty good week last week myself. I had a win in the Reddit League at Gateway, and my truck driver, Justin Miller, as a matter of fact, won, beating Isaac Morris of all people at Martinsville.
Whoa, the paperclip!
That is my first win as a team owner.
Did you get the grandfather clock?
A virtual grandfather clock.
That a boy.
Picture. We might have a shot for the lead here coming to turn 5. Yeah, it's not close enough. Okay.
Now, the one thing I do want to bring up is, you see, you mentioned Isaac here trying to make the pass. The one thing I do want to mention to you, Gary, is I'm losing my train of thought as I'm going here. I'm trying not to lose. The tires. That's where I'm going. Reds versus black. I'm hearing from drivers. I talked to numerous drivers in the paddock today. I got done early with work. And basically, they all said that there's not much fall off between these 2 tires, and they're very comparable.
Well, I pause.
And we got trouble back here, I think.
Uh-oh.
Jim Herrick and Andrew McMurray, I think, just had an issue.
Yep.
I heard you pause, and I looked over at my screen and saw something.
Yeah, I paused a little bit because you really sometimes really don't know what these tires are going to do until you get them out in battle. Race conditions are a lot different than practice or even just testing conditions. When you know you have that guy behind you running you down, you're running that corner a little bit deeper.
Oh, and the Bobby Rahal paint there of the 809. I just caught that out of the corner of my eye. And you did the MGD car, right?
Yes. That would have been 93, 94, 95, somewhere in there where he drove that particular car.
Nice paint there. So Jim caught the curve trying to pass his teammate Cohen, or not Cohen, but Craig. And unfortunately caught a little bit of the curve, spun him around, and the 809 had nowhere to go, and that spun him with him. So looks like no harm, no foul. But Ed Kerstetter last time by, a 45.45, fastest lap of the race on lap number 5. So these tires definitely are showing their max right now.
Yeah, the 44.447 is what I got for timing and scoring, but it's starting to turn into a same old story, just different day, with these 3 kind of pulling away from the remainder of the group, and then it's 4th on back is kind of in their own time zone.
Well, here's the thing, that some little birdie told me that Eric O'Connor has found a way to Scott Dixon this track. And what I mean by Scott Dixon, if you've listened to me talk a lot lately about this, he finds a way to get a lap or 2 of gas, but still run fast.
Yeah, I'm going to guess he's probably doing some short shifting.
Well, the question is here, though, is if you're Isaac Morris, are you running second purposely, one, to keep Ed back, but two, to help preserve fuel for the leader by preserving fuel yourself, holding Ed back.
Wow. Okay, so
Think about that.
You're going to have to assume team orders are being called in this case, and frankly, I've never really seen Isaac run anything but 100% balls out. So to think that Isaac is actually being held back by anything, I find it very hard to believe, unless there's team orders. But I've never known TI to go with team orders before. But they are part of a very important team championship, and I know that they've been stressing it in amongst themselves and the team. Every week, their team owner, Chris Lewis, comes out and says, hey, I'm going to drop this picture right here for some bulletin board material, and it's trying to keep them motivated to keep the performance up.
Tom Carpenter poking out on Justin Miller, trying to get 9th, as Carpenter has had a struggle so far in this race, back to 10th after starting P5. Him, Craig Forsyth, and Jim Herrick, unfortunately, have lost in most positions. However, Forsyth passing Cody Claiborne just a minute ago. These guys 30 seconds back and about a minute 45 around this track right now. That's a pretty fast pace. That's up there with qualifying right now. And I have to, again, I'm bringing this in because this is the story of this race is going to be fuel mileage. At qualifying pace, are you going to run 14 laps?
That's going to be really tough. Those tires, when they go. They're going to go quick, and they're going to be a handful right off the bat. They'll want to get them off immediately at that point. 14 laps is about the extent of those. I've seen drivers go longer. In the Reddit league, I saw them go as long as 20, 25 laps. So we'll see how brave these guys want to be, especially in the midst of a very tight team and driver battle. So how much do you want to gamble?
So if we put you in a car right now and you decide you're doing a 3-stop strategy, when's the window open for you?
Well, it's going to be math, man. It's going to be 14 for me. It's right when that
window.
Yeah.
But if you do a 3-stop, what would you do? I'm putting you in Jan Beekes.
Well, Jan Beekes is a lot better on road courses than me. So.
I'm just thinking. I mean, I look off top of my head. I go 10, 10, 10. So then you're at lap 30. Go 12 the rest of the way.
Yeah, that could work.
I mean, I'm just trying to think here because what we're going to see here is the window's going to open up. I would say the next lap, maybe 2 laps, for those who are going to decide, hey, I ain't got a chance on 2, let's go 3, which might not be a bad idea for somebody down where maybe Caleb Bensi, Shane Coogan, Justin Miller, these guys down 7th, 8th, 9th. They always say in racing, if you follow the leader, you're going to finish behind him. So do something different.
Yeah, go off strategy. It's a gamble. You got nothing to lose. Do it.
Oh, something's happened with Shane Coogan. Oh, he's wrecked big over here. Turn 5. Knocked the winglet off the car right on cue. As I said, he might try something different. Whoa, and there goes Craig Forsyth. He just, I think, was trying to get camera time there. Let's see what happens with Coogan. He catches the curve over turn 1. Downhill, he breaks the Stratton Bridge down to turn 2, which is a very tricky downhill corner. He's putting pressure on Caleb Bensi. The Western Wave Media car. It's a new livery for that 2.9er.
Yeah, he's been starting to run that a lot lately. That's kind of his crossover to that Target Chip Ganassi, more like Chip Ganassi Racing STP livery from, look at that.
Oh, he just gets it hot. And Caleb clips him.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
Did that actually
it popped
damaged?
back on. It popped back on.
Oh, wow. That could have been huge.
For a second there. I mean, Caleb's off over here at the very fast turn 7 into turn 8 coming to the carousel.
He might have damage. He might have some slight damage we don't know about. So we'll keep it together there, Caleb.
Caleb's been running a slower pace. You wonder if he is definitely on the 2-stop. Oh, here comes. Okay, that's Shane coming to pit road. Never mind. Now he's got to do the 3-stop strategy.
Yeah, he's committed to that now.
And even then, he might have to save a little bit. He's going to have to get probably an extra lap. Because right now you're at 34 to go. If you do 10 and 10, you're at 14. You're right on the number. So, I mean, you almost might want to try to save an extra lap somewhere in his stint and get a little bit or something out of it.
That Kerstetter purple lap is 137.283 miles per hour.
That is definitely getting it.
But the top 3 are all within a second and a half.
Which that's where I'm like, man, these guys cannot be saving fuel running like this.
I don't think they are.
Now, Cohen, maybe. Alex, maybe.
Well,
matter of fact, third on back probably saving fuel, or fourth on back.
If there's anyone back there saving fuel, we know it's Alex.
True.
It's just naturally that's what he does.
An old school camera here from Ed Kerstetter, who are a fan of the 1990s IndyCar, watching. You'll enjoy this view. Section, top gear here. And Ed saving up on that push to pass tonight. He might have learned from that a little bit last week. Ed was, I think by like lap 4 or 5, was down to like 5 or 6. Like he had used most of them up. He's still at 9 right now. The biggest user of it so far, Dakota Med. He's down to 7.
Yeah, the Reddit race, league race that we covered here, the eventual winner of that, the way he broke away from everybody is he used like half of his push to passes was like in the first 3 laps, and that's how he broke out. It's an interesting strategy. I don't know why that it hasn't been copied here, because a lot of these guys also race in that league. But he sure as hell broke out and had built up a big enough delta that it didn't really matter how many times he pitted, because he had that big of a lead.
I might have the answer to that question. How many races have you done in the past, and then you come back to that track like 3 seasons later and you don't remember? Right. You see my point. It's easy. You got other things going on in life. It's easy to forget, is my point.
Well, I mean, some of these guys, they keep some pretty hefty notebooks, and they'll make notes on what happened when, and you'll be surprised the amount. Some people's like, Gary, I don't understand how you can retain that much IndyCar history. Well, there are guys that retain strategy history and past strategy histories of races a lot deeper than I could ever fathom, and it's just because they have a deep notebook. It looks like the 2 leaders are starting to pull away from Kerstetter a little bit, though.
Ed might be trying to save a little fuel in this case, or maybe the car's just falling off with the tires. He might have burned them up a little bit there when he had those battles going on back there for the 3rd position. And going back to what you're talking about there, Kerry, I've shared this a few times. I run in a truck league on Tuesday nights, and in that truck league, I actually am teammates with NASCAR driver Austin Hill, Truck Series driver. And I'll say some crazy things, and his words back to me will be like, how the hell do you remember that? And I'm like, this comes from a NASCAR driver asking me how I remember this stuff. I'm like,
we all have our methods. We all have our methods.
That I remember, but come my wife's birthday?
I just said, well, that's the one you need to remember just on personal safety.
Oh, I do remember, trust me. There's plenty of secrets of ways of me keeping a hold of that birthday number. Trust me, I got that in my head. But you get my point. How many people in the chat could probably relate to this? How many times, this person remembers what his favorite ice cream is, but when it comes to, my favorite Boys to Men song or something, get it.
Oh wow, Boys to Men.
I don't know. His first thing came. I was thinking.
Well, it's interesting as a youth. My mom was a school teacher, and she was, and you would try to remember those multiplication tables, and I would always have other things like who did what in a G.I. Joe comic or something, and she's like, how can you remember that but not remember your multiplication tables? I don't know, but it's happened to stick with me.
Selective
the
listening.
leaders, and learning too, as she called it too. But Morris is definitely keeping it within a half second here. He was right there at the end, right there on the gearbox at the end of turn 1.
Caleb Bensi on pit road. Here's your first 3-stopper, I think, right here.
Yep, he is, and we'll see what he comes out on.
As predicted, I'm not going to say I predicted it, but it was something that we talked about potentially happening. He realizes the spot he's in right now, and such a tight point battle, this almost almost could be a Hail Mary being thrown right now by Caleb.
This is a pretty critical stop. And he chose lap 10 to pit. I'm looking back while he's pitting. Matt Houston, his teammate, pitted at lap 6, and he went to the
Stays on reds.
The alternate tire.
Caleb stayed on the reds, 8-second stop, and he is going to filter out right in front of Matt. It looks like.
Coogan went to the primary compound, so he changed when he pitted on lap 7 for damage. Also, Craig Forsythe did on lap 9. He changed compounds. So those group of drivers are good to go again. Caleb stayed on the same thing. You're right. So he is committed now, I guess, to another stop.
So I think this situation, you got two of the race first guys that have gone to the alternate 3-stop strategy. So we'll have to keep an eye on Dakota DeMed now to see what he does, because he's the other race first player up here in the 6th position, to see if he brings his car to pit road in that Sunset Arctic Games number 82 with the race first team. So yeah, I think Bensie's in a spot here where he realizes he's not the fastest car out here tonight, and has to do something different and maybe compete with Eric. Let's see, Dakota's going to stay out a lap here, so I think he's going to go ahead and do the 2-stop strategy, because now, if you haven't pitted by now, you're committed to the 2, because you're almost in an island right now.
Yep. O'Connor, a little bit of a wiggle going in turn 3 there.
And these tires are probably starting to fall off, and Isaac is there. He's going to pounce. He has not used one single push to pass so far, talking about Isaac. Oh, Eric got wide there. You can see that car sliding. And those tires are not necessarily wearing out. It sounded like, from when I talked to Eric before the race, he was one of the drivers I spoke with, that the tires were almost getting hot but not wearing, so it was making them slick.
They are skatey right now. You can definitely hear them.
Slickery.
Playing with the throttle. You can actually hear the tire skidding noise there. I got that turned up, and that tells you kind of what's going on. And you can hear every bit of that tire scraping there at that asphalt.
I'm starting to notice here, you wonder if Isaac might be faster over into turn 1, 2, 3. Well, there really isn't a turn 3 and 4 technically. Section of the track over as you get to turn 5, and then once you get to those slow corners, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the carousel, that's where Eric starts pulling back away.
Yes, Isaac is faster in sectors 1, 2, but Eric is faster in sector 3. Isaac is faster in sector 4. And Eric is faster in sector 5. So it's about a push right now.
How about this? Battle for the 4th position as we ride with Dakota DeMed. He's caught Cohen Evans. And right on cue, here comes the first pit stop here for Dakota DeMed, as we hear the abnormal sounder.
Yep.
Now, this is the one thing that is different. In the IndyCar series, they actually have 2 limiters. They have the 90-mile-an-hour limiter that they use up to about that point there, and then it jumps, and you hit another button to go to 45 up to here.
Yep.
Which makes sense, because it's a waste of road down
there. This is a huge pit road. It's awfully long.
Into his pit stall, and let's see, 4 tires, fuel.
Whoa! Eric O'Connor running wide, coming into coming down to the downs area. Now he's coming into the carousel area, and he has Isaac right there with him. And Ed has also closed up the gap. He was back about 2 seconds. Now he is less than, actually he was less than a second for a second, but he is now right at a 1.1 second. So he has started to gain. I don't know if he's let those tires cool off, or maybe just the leaders are coming back to him.
Looking at the left. That would explain it. I see why now Dakota DeMed was on the back bumper of Cohen Evans. Let's see what happened to Cohen. There he goes, spinning around over here in turn number 6. Allows Alex to go to 4th, because I noticed it in the lap times on like 46, 46, 54. Somewhere Cohen lost 8 seconds.
Kerstetter
pit road, yep. We'll go live to that. And a pass for the lead. Isaac Morris to the front. Down the front straightaway.
And he got him.
That could be a nominee for the spicy overtake of the race. Teammates.
And Isaac is pulling away.
So Ed coming to pit road. 45 mile an hour. Let's see what stop he does.
Will he switch from the
Everybody's been going red to red, I've noticed. Yeah, and that's what he does. He stays with the alternates. So 2 reds for him. Miller and Marrera to pit road now. So here's the number is open. So now these guys, if they don't run out of gas on this lap, are going to make it to lap 15, which makes it perfect for them. If they don't go too hard. Jim Herrick on pit road, unfortunately, getting tires and looks like some damage fixed over there in that 23. Ed with a 10-second stop, a little bit slower. You see Cohen Evans already gotten ahead of him. Did Caleb get ahead of him? He did not. Caleb's just coming up the hill. So
yeah, it's a 41-second delta. That is 2 seconds longer than the leaders around him.
Yeah, so a little bit slower, yeah, because Benson ran an 8-second stop. Houston with a 7, obviously less fuel. And then a 10.2 by Ed Kerstetter. And that's probably because more fuel burning. I mean, that was 8 extra miles. Here comes the leader to pit road. Second coming with him. Thank you, Jeff S966. Appreciate your kind words there. Hit that subscribe button if you would, please. And please tell a friend or 10. So they will come down.
See if they going to go change compounds.
Cohen's coming behind them
here.
My guess is no, because everybody up in the front has gone alternate. The only ones who have changed over is about mid-pack, where you see Houston, Miller, Claiborne, Fierro, and Coogan. And, of course, I get the bad angle at the pit road. Give me a second here. I'll get that fixed. There we go. Yep, alternates for Isaac. Alternates and a delayed exit for Eric O'Connor.
And he's going to get beat by Ed.
And jump to the undertake. Or the undercut, sorry.
Ed with the warm tires, he's going to definitely pull away in this one.
And he's only 9, he's about a second and a half back. He might be able to get in the toe of Isaac here.
Now's the time to use that push and pass. Isaac's actually gone the one, so he's like, you know what, it's time to pull one out.
Yeah, this is about the time of the race where Isaac might pull out that lap here. Like, how did he just do that? So apparently that's JW spells 01 BTW. That's not how you spell 01.
Oh, that's my man Jeff Spells from MSRP Motorsports.
Sorry, Jeff, I don't know you. Or maybe I do, and I just don't know you. Who knows?
You'll talk to him next week.
All's possible.
So the Hyatt Cohen went with the other compound, actually. So the highest placed person sitting on the prime compound is Cohen in 5th place. But on that is Mr. Miller and Shane Coogan.
Hello, Isaac Morris. My name is Ed Kerstetter. I would like the lead from you. Over here to the final corner. He is on his gearbox here. Kerstetter looking to make a move. Push to pass up the hill here. Maybe he hasn't yet.
Oh, defensive line by Isaac
totally
on the
clean.
Inside.
He did not react.
Yeah,
he was proactive. Totally clean.
That is fine. He's going to make him take the lead on the high side, the long way around.
Crossover?
No.
Nope, not going to take the long way home. Oh, still good. That's a clean move. Of course, I say that, and you go back to a couple laps ago. Let's go back to that move with Tom Carpenter and Caleb Benzie.
The opening lap, yeah.
Yeah, opening lap. Was that a block, or was that being defensive?
Well, I can't really rule on that one. I only saw the result of it. I didn't see what started it, so it did look reactive. But again, I don't want to rule on that.
Right, well, understandable. But basically, in the end, though, you got to look at the difference. And if you want to explain it to the viewers, your opinion, I guess, because everybody's got a different opinion of it. Your view of what is a block and what is a defensive move.
A defensive move is I'm anticipating exactly what Isaac did there coming down the main straightaway. The best way to pass him and to get the passing position going into turn 1 is to go down low. So you take that line away from the car behind you and make him go on the outside, the long way around you. The reactionary move is, let's say that he was holding his line. Let's say Isaac was holding his line, and Ed pulls out to pass him, and then Isaac reacts to that to try to block him. That's blocked. And then you get into the gray areas, which are called the Pruitt fade and the Brazilian fade, but we won't get into that.
Hey, speaking of fades, I'm getting a haircut.
All right.
Uncomfortably comfortable. Anyways, up the front straightaway with Ed Kerstetter here. Believe it or not the fastest part of the course.
That's going to be down that back straight.
Third gear corner here into turn number 1. You go downhill to the straightaway to turn 2. This is actually a second gear corner. My one start I've made in an IndyCar on a road course came at this track.
Oh, you did pretty good. You
Finished 8th. I didn't do too bad. I had a little bit of, I heard a little bit of Scott Dixoning out of that car. If you listen closely, he's letting on these long straightaways, you'll hear him letting out the throttle before he brakes. Just kind of letting the car coast a little bit. The only way you can tell is if you listen for the pitch difference. You obviously hear him, and all of a sudden you hear that.
There's also some shifting as well.
Does that really work? Because I was told it doesn't.
Well, at least when it comes to the PM18 cars, it absolutely does. I was broadcasting a race for the Reddit Turbo Cup Series, which is their feeder and their Schaefer Cup IndyCar Series. And they had a driver which became their eventual series champion. And he went 20 laps on a single tank, never stopped in a PM18 car in Road America. Wow. He crossed the finish line with 0.2 left in the tank. And what he was doing is he was backing out, yes, he was also short shifting. And especially one of the ways, one of the areas I noticed that he did it.
O'Connor.
Oh, yeah, big lock, big move.
And again,
not a block.
Not a block. Yeah, Kerstetter made a defensive move, and Eric passed him on the high side clean.
Yep, that's
nothing
legit.
wrong there. So again, and that was go ahead.
One of the areas that I remember him saving a lot of fuel is he was short shifting.
And I've noticed that Alex Van de Sant spent a minute on pit road. Is there something I missed? Yes, there is. He got into an accident here, it looks like. And it was back when the pit stop happened of Ed Kerstetter. Oh, right here, loses the back. Oh, it into the barrier. Destroyed his car. So the bad luck continues for Alex.
And that's going to hurt LMC Gear in the points championship.
Yeah, because Herrick's already having a pretty bad night. Yeah.
Right, and their highest placed driver right now is, well, it's Evans in 5th. Mm-hmm. But on that, their other highest placed driver would be Van de Sant.
Right on cue of me showing that replay, it happened again.
Oh.
Contact! Oh, with Dan Marrera, I think that is. And Alex goes off track.
And just let everyone know how the team championship work. Typically, it's a top 2 finishers from each team. You take those points and you combine them, and that goes toward the points championship. So right now, for instance, TI Racing is looking at the points for 1st and 2nd place. ETA Racing is looking for points for 3rd and 16th. And Raceverse is looking at points from 4th and 6th. So actually, Raceverse is kind of holding steady with TI, but TI actually is going to have the advantage. And we're looking at the leaders, and there goes Dan pulling out right in front of his teammates. He pulls right on over, lets them by.
Not Ed so much, though, as you see, he pulls
not Ed
up.
so much. Oh. Not Ed so much.
Which, in fairness, he does got to get in the corner.
He does. He absolutely does.
But let's see if he pulls over here. Not so much. Now he does. Oh, I think that swerve was a little bit of something, you think?
Whoa, whoa,
Oh,
whoa,
no!
off in the corner.
Ed did not lose a spot, but he did lose a lot of track position there. I was just
Yeah,
about
I'm
to
sure
say, though,
he's,
and Ed...
not happy.
Well, he kind of did a little weave to the 26 down the short chute there.
Yeah, I'm sure he's not happy, and that probably impacted maybe his focus or maybe the way he entered that next corner. But hey, that's the benefit of having multiple team cars.
I want to go back and see if we can catch that. Oh, that might have been a net code. Dan actually goes off track over in turn 6, comes back on, and all of a sudden you see Ed's car just juke sideways. Here, watch this whole sequence here. So, I don't know if you should be able to see it on the screen over there.
Yep.
So you're going to see Ed. Watch here. He pulled her. Watch Ed. I'm not too thrilled with you. Goes in the corner, and then bam, Dan loses the back end, and all of a sudden, look how Ed's car just jukes.
That is weird.
That had to be netcode of some kind.
Definitely weird.
Because your car doesn't juke like that unless you're like completely blown away your tires. Matt Houston on pit road, stop number 2.
Matt Houston, definitely stop.
So 23 laps to go. Go ahead.
It's also possible that he might have heard a car making the skid mark sound behind him.
Could, yeah.
And it might have spooked him. I don't know.
So Matt pitted 12 laps later on that run. So he went 7 and 12, if I'm doing the math right here. This is lap 19 we're completing. Coming to 20. Yep. So if he does 12 and 12 again, he has no problem on 3 stops.
And he went to the...
He's still in the reds. Still on the alts.
Yes, he stayed on the alts.
So do want to mention real quickly, we are watching, of course.
Whoa. Sorry, Morris went wide in Canada corner and is allowing Eric to get a little bit closer.
We'll go up to that as we tell you this is the LMC Grand Prix, LMCgear.com Grand Prix of Road America as they come off the final corner. Appreciate LMCgear.com, of course, the sponsor of the race and the broadcast booth that we're broadcasting from. Make sure you check out LMCgear.com for all the information there. And I should mention the winner tonight and the top guy with 0 incident points, which that might be a question. Going to get this kit from LMCgear.com. This kit that was talked about earlier by Jim Herrick on the air. He talked about it's a waterproof bag, so it can go out there in the waters if you're going camping, wherever you like to go camping at. And that's your chance to take that out there and go have a good time. And the top driver with 0 incident points going to get that along with the winner from what I was told. So it should be interesting there.
And I believe by my timing of scoring that your 2 leaders are currently the lowest with incident points, both with 0.
They both have had chances to mess that up as they've gone wide a couple of times.
Yeah, it doesn't take much on a road course to get an X of some type.
Well, it depends on which road course, too.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, if you go to the last race of the season when we go to Spa, let's put this award on the line then.
Or how about that big wide runoff at turn 1 at Watkins Glen?
yeah, I would lose that on turn 1 of lap 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mom, I'm not winning that one. Should mention that Tom Carpenter took his car behind the wall. He is the first actual casualty as Alex Van de Sande has gone past Eric O'Connor. Unlap himself. He's driving pretty hard trying to unlap. I think he's to the point where he's just going to go hard. That's all he can do now.
It's in full scent mode, folks.
You mentioned Alex had a great run this weekend, winning that race at Gateway. Track that, I think St. Louis is really talking about changing its name to Garyway.
Well, not after that Saturday race I had. Eric O'Connor caught a little dirt there going through turn 1. He recovered.
So Isaac with a 1.4 second lead. Kerstetter 5 back now. Caleb Bensey is 11 seconds back. Remember, he's the first one on the alternate 3-stop strategy. So he sits 11 seconds back in the 4th position here.
Alex making a pass to get the lap back from Isaac.
The hard way. I think this is a good way to tell you that I think this is where you can look and see Isaac is saving fuel. Eric is saving fuel because Alex is going hard, and he just blew the doors off. As a matter of fact, last lap, Alex, one of 3 drivers in the 45s, and the other 2 were Caleb Bensey and Kerstetter. So I'm pretty safe to say these top 2 are saving gas right now.
So they are coming, they're about 6 laps away from their next stop then, if that's
Which
the
would be
case.
the last stop.
Yes.
Isaac doing a good job running in the lead here. He's led, I believe, the most laps now. Him and Eric are about split. Ed Kerstetter kind of out here in his zone right now. Now, if you're Ed, you could still break this into a 3-stop strategy and short fill one of your stops, could you not?
Yes, absolutely. I don't know if I'd do that or not. I mean, the least amount of time I can spend stopped on pit road is probably optimal. The more I want to keep rolling as much as possible. So I don't know how far does he want to gamble this one?
Well, I mean, he would have to decide quickly because right now,
Yes.
you're 20 to go, so you could pit next time by and do a 10 and then a 10 and then go to the finish. And there's your 3 stops. You would probably, obviously, you would short fill here and then, well, you'd short fill all 3 technically. But I don't know. I think that's one of those, you're kind of in that island area right now. You're either going down the 3-stop or you're on the 2. If you go in between and break off of it, it might ruin things. But this is that spot you're in, though, if you're Ed, because you're 6 seconds back. You're falling back from the leaders. And you got Caleb Bensey 5 seconds back in the 4th spot. So, and he's slowly starting to catch you. So you got to decide something here quick. And you wonder if Ed's saving gas at the same time here because he did go really hard at the beginning of that stint.
Well, we know someone who's not saving gas. That's Alex.
Yeah, he's gone.
He's going away. Yeah.
And believe it or not, he is actually only about 9 seconds off of his next position, which would be a top 10. Cody Claiborne, about 9 seconds up on him right now.
And Cody's only had 1 stop. He is currently on the alt.
Check your thing. Did Isaac get a 2X just now? Because I think he put 2 off over at 14. As Caleb Benson comes to pit road. Right on
Still
cue.
showing 0.
10-4. I just saw him put 2 off, I thought. Well, here we go. Pit stops. 19 laps to go. Hopefully everybody's enjoying their evening. I have not had a chance to look at viewership tonight. I've been so focused on calling the race good tonight. I'm always focused.
Laser.
Leisure.
Oh, we got a car off right there. Oh, it's Cody Claiborne.
Bensey a 9.7 second stop, so a little bit slower than last time. And he pulls back out, and he is actually in 7th. And once again, right in front of his teammate, Matt Houston. He's got him cleared actually by a good minute. But 16 viewers tonight. At least that's the first number I've seen. So I don't know if that's gone up or down or what. But appreciate all the viewers watching. We're always thankful to have you guys out there watching tonight. It jumps to 17. Very thank you. And we appreciate everybody watching. If you would like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so. Of course, we have racing broadcast each and every night for the most part. That most part covering just like the times where other leagues are off that I cover. Yeah, so if you're a fan of IndyCar racing, here you are on Monday night. If you're a fan of stock car racing, you get the rest of the nights. And who knows, maybe some road racing in the near future. putting it out there.
All right. Get you some more IndyCar.
I have a feeling you might see me in an IndyCar again. I have a feeling.
That, I believe that's confirmed.
I'm not confirming or denying. I'm going to pull the PR card on this one here. You might, or you might not. Something tells me, oh, we're up to 20. Something tells me there could be an IndyCar race in like the next week for me. As Dakota Nevada comes to pit road. Here comes the third of the Racecourse Sunset Arctic Games car.
So he's going to be going to the Prime. No, he goes.
He's still got one more stop. He's got a choice here, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see what he gets here.
Tires are still red. He's still in the reds. He stays alternate. I can if you need me to, Nick. And he's going to come out right in front of teammate Matt Houston. So 6th, 7th, and 8th right now belong to the race first team. So this is going to be a big 18-lap segment of this race because now you've got the team that has been threatening the TI Racing guys is now back 6th, 7th, 8th on three-stop strategies. So this is Isaac and Eric. If they can lay down some laps here by saving fuel at the same time, this is their chance to wave so long, and they're going to end up locking down the first two spots and potentially almost putting a dagger into that championship hope for the team.
Not quite the nail in the coffin, but
getting there.
Kind of setting it. Kind of setting the nail.
Down the straightaway, and Eric just kind of riding there behind him. Lap times in the 46s, which really tells me they're slowing down. Alex Van de Sand still out there running 45s. You got...
because he can.
Because he can. He's out. He might have had some chili mix while he was in pits. Whoa, easy.
Whoa.
There goes that 2X right there. Isaac
there
off.
There he is. Isaac off. Isaac off. There it is.
So, you know what? That might be right there, and I'm going to go ahead and put it out there. That might be a lack of force feedback in his car.
Possible.
Because the one thing, I mean, I tried to give him some help because, I mean, the man's helped me a ton with Indy cars and stuff. And even with the broadcasting, so I'm like, let me help him out a little bit. So, and with me being somebody who never races before feedback, I told him, turn your tires all the way up. Because when you hear your tires squealing, you can tell, okay, they're sliding. That means they're losing traction. They could spin. So then what's the other thing you want to do? You just got to kind of keep an eye on the screen. Because if you obviously notice your back end twitching and stuff, you can almost feel it without feeling it in the car. And that's probably what happened there. He might have got in too deep, lost it, and then had to fight his car. But either way,
if you're in VR at all, you can also get that feeling as well.
It's hard to explain because you're like where I sit in my chair, I'm not feeling a thing in that car. And but for some reason with the simulator or whatever it is, you almost feel like you're getting that feeling, but it's not. It's so weird to explain. No, it's not indigestion. So Isaac Morris, as Justin Miller comes to pit road, the Auto Club winner, started all the way back in 12th and has moved his way up to 5th. Oh, and you notice there how he got on pit road. He comes to the yellow cones there, Gary, and then moves to the outside lane because there is a rule we don't talk about much. The fast lane, slow lane, pit road rule.
Yes, there is a travel lane and then there is a pit lane, so to speak. You're supposed to stay wide of the pit wall until you're about 5 spaces away from your pit spot, and then you can cut down and get into that pit lane, that pit exit, pit entrance lane, and that's when you can then dive into that and into your spot. So it's not been enforced a lot because mainly it hasn't been a problem in this league. but I have seen it been a problem in other leagues, and it's just it helps bring organization to an otherwise pit road that's full of chaos.
That's a good way to put it there. One thing I did notice watching that pit stop with Justin Houston, I think he has an Evel Knievel pit crew.
I think that's
So Dakota DeMed using that very unusual entrance at turn 5. I've seen him do it all night, including practice. As he's got his teammate Matt Houston putting pressure on him back here. Dakota is actually putting all 4 wheels to the outside wall into turn 5. Instead of kind of running up next to the white line and turning in, he's going over that line.
We are going to have a look for the lead here coming down to turn 5.
Isaac's angry. Angry Isaac is a good Isaac. It's a fun Isaac. And it can also be an Isaac that makes more mistakes. But right there gets a little loose, but takes the lead back from Eric O'Connor.
I don't think Evel Knievel gets enough run these days.
You know what's interesting? And I'll go back to that comment in a second. Last lap, O'Connor a 47.2. Isaac ran a 45.9. He was 1.3 seconds faster with the off-track, or not the off-track, but the lap after the off-track. It's almost like Eric let him come back and pass it.
Possible. Hard to tell what's going on.
Like, I'm not saying any kind of team orders are going on, but it's almost like these two are literally working together fuel mileage-wise or something here. Like I'm not even thinking team orders at all in my head. I'm thinking more of, okay, they're strategizing and working together as a team, which nothing wrong with.
Forsyth off wide at Canada corner.
Oh. Craig's fighting and doing his best out there. Keep fighting, Craig. Now, I did see a photo. It was his feet that had surgery. And here comes Isaac to pit road, and Eric stays out.
Eric is not.
Uh-oh. And they got to go to the prime tires here.
Eric, I would be using push to pass as much as I can on this lap.
And we're going to watch. He's at 8 right now, so we'll see if he hits it down the turn, off turn 2. And Ed Kerstetter's right behind him on pit road. Cohen Evans right behind him. So next question, does Caleb Bensey jump any of these cars?
Let's put the camera on him and find out.
Caleb's still about 16 seconds.
14.
Yep.
He is now at the start-finish line.
He's going to get somebody because he's going to jump to 3rd, past Ed Kerstetter and Cohen Evans.
Wow. Okay.
So Isaac Morris comes out 2nd. Eric O'Connor has not touched his push to pass at all. And does Cohen Evans got issues? No, okay, never mind. I'm seeing this backwards. I'm sorry. I thought some reason I saw Ed come out of the pits already. I'm like, wait a minute. I had it backwards.
Here comes Dakota, full speed down the front straight.
I don't think he's going to get them.
He's going to get him.
But this just shows you Caleb Bensey, this 3-stop strategy is legit right now. Now, the problem is he's going to have to go as hard as he can for probably the next, 4 to 8 laps?
Yeah.
Because you could go 14 and pit with, 6 to go in short field. Or
okay,
no, I'm sorry, 10 to go. And leader's coming in, Eric O'Connor. This has gone interesting.
So we'll see if Isaac is going through the kink right now. Coming down Canada corner.
You know what kind of lap usually comes here from Isaac?
Big lap.
Like,
Canada corner.
I've called it once, so I could try it again here. Like, you could see potentially, I'm going to go with a 44 flat or a 1. Something like that out of Isaac Morse.
All right, coming down the 14. It's on the main straight now.
We're going to watch O'Connor. He's got to go to the prime tires. Here comes Isaac. Okay, so that was Isaac's pit lap. He jumps him. Big time jump.
Yeah, he did.
And Isaac's going to probably go hard here because this is his chance to take advantage of the warm tires of the 1 lap.
Oh, and Eric is on the primes.
And I think Isaac is too. They both are on prime. So Caleb's on the alternates. Caleb's only 4.5 seconds back from Eric O'Connor. Now, you said that Delta was 40 seconds or so?
39.
39. All right, so right now, Caleb Bensey stays out. Matter of fact, here's some technology that I've learned about, and I use this myself when I'm on the track. I'll pull this up really quickly, and I think this works for other drivers. So give me a second here. What I'm about to show you is, one, I'm going to put the track map on the screen. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to go to where Caleb, I'm going to be on Caleb's car, basically for the settings here. And then you're going to see a white letter P pop up on the screen on the track map. And that is going to be when Caleb were to pit, where he comes out, or where they're thinking he will come out of this pit road. So give me 1 second here. I just got to adjust a couple settings to do it, because I usually only do this when I race. All right, so here's Caleb. Let's see if this is accurate or not. So if he were to pit right now, it's got him coming out on the map somewhere between, it's predicting somewhere between Cohen Evans and Ed Kerstetter. I'm sorry, actually in front of Cohen, if I'm seeing this right.
About. So it would be
I think that's right. And again, this could be wrong, but I'm using this for the first time ever on somebody outside of me not driving a car. Man, a good way to test that, I guess. Let's see where the eyes are. See if it changes. It doesn't. So I don't think it's going to work. But, it worked. Oh, wait. Actually, it did change. For Cohen, it jumps down to after the 80 car of Justin Miller. So this does actually work. So Isaac Morris, if he were to pit, he comes out basically right in front of the 31. And that would be where he would come out of the pits, where Cody Claiborne's currently running. He'd be in front of Cohen Evans. So if Caleb Bensey comes out of the pits, they're projecting that he would come out right about between Cody Claiborne and Cohen Evans right now on the screen, which would keep him P3. Problem is he's got to go really hard probably for these next couple laps to do so. So we're going to keep an eye on that. I'm going to turn this off only because I'm going to jump to other cars. But let's keep an eye right between Claiborne and Evans is where they're projecting the number one car. I always wanted to use that.
Vincey is running down O'Connor.
Well, you got to remember, one's on the primes, one's on alternates here. And one's saving
it's
fuel,
rapid.
and one's probably not.
Rapidly running him down.
And one, like I said, one's probably saving fuel here, one's not. So, I mean, you got these guys trying to go the full distance on fuel, which Eric's got now 4 extra miles to work with. Alex Vanderson on the pit road along with Dan Marrera. I mentioned Caleb Benson on his high horse. He is coming. Turn 1.
Nope.
Last time by, Caleb ran a 45.3. Everybody else 46s. Oh, Matt Houston is piled into the wall.
Yeah, I'm hearing that there's an incident possibly with Joe Fierro on the radio there. Isaac 146, Eric Connor 146.1, Caleb a 145.3. So Caleb is actually a second faster than the leaders.
Well, keep an eye on that. Let's go back and look at this replay of what happened with Matt Houston. That nose is destroyed.
Yeah, and he has the leaders coming up on him. Oh!
Gotta be careful.
Oh, that's not... Oh! And he spins off right there, right before the carousel.
Yeah, he's got, like, probably no aerodynamics at all here. And he's actually out by himself right now. And he just loses the back end going into turn 5, just slides it around, almost like he shifted too quick or something. And then loses the back end. Here's where he hits the wall. I don't see anything with Joe Fierro around him. Unless something happened beforehand. I'll have to maybe keep an eye on that.
No, maybe I misinterpreted the traffic. That snap loose, that's something's broken.
So he probably had contact beforehand, you think?
Yeah, something's broken. You don't snap loose like that.
You'd be surprised when I drive a car.
Vincey's got it down to 2.3 seconds now.
You ain't see nothing. You see me drive a car.
I've seen you drive a car.
Last night, NIS, I texted my manager / buddy Jason, who I think might be watching if he hasn't fallen asleep yet. I texted him and said, hey, come watch me wreck in NIS. First lap out in practice, I go spinning off turn 2, and I'm like, calling it.
I remember you almost took me with you at Motegi.
I about took a lot of people with me in those couple of races.
There could have been much more in a piece of paper that could separate the two under that one.
Hey, Caleb Bency has come up to the back bumper of these leaders. He is within 2 seconds.
So's O'Connor too. He's closing distance big time.
We've had so much fun, I think, riding here with some of these guys and leaders and stuff. We're going to get, I think this is a good time. Let's ride with the points leader as we do our segment that we call the Ride Along Lap. This is our time. We're going to step away for a 4-mile run around this Road America course. We're going to clear everything off the screen.
Pass the lead. Pass for the lead.
Never mind. We're going to lead first as Eric O'Connor goes back to the front. Now, this is where I think Isaac has to save fuel. Eric went 1 lap longer. Remember that. And you think Caleb Benson might be putting pressure on these guys?
I would.
Now, we're gonna try it.
Let's do the ride along.
Here we go. The Echo Blade Sunset Arctic Games ride along lap. Let's go on board with the champion and points leader, Caleb Benson. That is your Sunset Arctic Games Echo Blade ride along lap with Caleb Benson, and we were actually just talking a little bit as we were riding along with Caleb, and it's safe to say this guy is probably going as far as he can go now and going to pit to short fill, correct?
Just hearing race control doing a drive-through for somebody for avoidable contact.
Oh, wait, we're not going to get it on the screen? Hold on. Don't do this to me now. Let's get it on the screen. I want to feel good here. Oh, hold on, Caleb. We're on board with him still. Yeah, I like to show off new tools here.
Yeah, I did not see anything else pop up. Who's got a drive-through penalty? I see Justin Miller coming in, but I don't know if the drive-through penalty's on him.
Now, basically what I have set up is a technology where basically Chris Lewis, who's the admin, is supposed to send a message, and it's going to come right up on the screen of a penalty to somebody, so that we don't have like confusion that kind of happened in Mid-Ohio. Worked on it, and which it's easy to forget when you're admin because you got so many. So I'm not going to miss it.
Okay, I'm hearing penalty on Joe Fierro for avoidable contact.
Oh, a penalty on Fierro. Let's see if If you hear
It sounds like he's
quietness,
kind of feeling it right now.
If you
Sorry.
hear, I was gonna say, if you hear quietness over the stream for a second, that's me going back to running. Get on your game. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna do that. Owen Evans using his first push to pass in the race.
Yeah, he is.
So Caleb is probably coming this time.
Yeah, Caleb actually has 11 incidences during this
He's
race.
not getting that award, is he?
He is pushing hard to make up every aspect of that.
Hey, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Showing Alex Van de Sant in the pits. I don't know if that is a drive-through or not.
As they say, it's like when you're doing a fuel saving in a race and you lose the lead. At that point, it's like, all right, let's just back off. And where's the other car to me? How much I can back off before the other car gets to me?
I think Alex was a drive-through.
I'll watch a couple situations.
Joe's coming through the kink on the backstretch. We'll see here in just a second whether or not he has a drive-through or not. Well, people getting some impatience here with 7 to go.
That happens sometimes.
Yeah.
We're watching the leaders down through the kink here. We're going to see if Caleb Bensey comes to pit road here. If so, let's let's get the
That's
projector.
going to be a drive-through. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Let's get the projector up on the screen again and see how accurate this thing really is. So right now it's got him projected to come out in front of Cohen Evans. So let's see here if he comes to pit road. Here he comes, right on cue. Locks it down to pit road. He got in there hard.
Yeah, get there right to the edge. Fierro is doing a drive-through, but that is a penalty on him. So we'll have to probably research, find out what happened on those drive-throughs, what caused the race stewards to call those. Caleb gets to his spot here, though.
All right, obviously the pit road thing is slowing down on me. So there goes Cohen by. There goes the 31 by. There goes, here comes, and here he comes out of the pits. Short stop. He's going to be in front of Ed, I think. By far. So fourth position, and he's got to get 8 seconds in 6 laps. All right, so it wasn't totally accurate, but not bad. Matter of fact, the P's still in the pit. And there he goes. We'll work on that one. Hey, why not? Try an experiment tonight. Makes me wonder if that's that accurate when I drive too. Anyways, Dakota Med on pit road, his final stop. So these are the 3 stop guys on pit road. Matt Houston would have been one of them too, but unfortunately he was involved in that accident.
Yep.
Dakota's going to pull out, and he should return to the track in front of Shane Coogan here in 7th. So he is all set to go. Eric O'Connor, 0.4 of a second over Isaac Morris. He has 1 more lap of fuel. Excuse me. Cohen Evans, 28 seconds back. And something wrong with Ed Kirstead? I noticed his timing. He's going back really quickly. It looks like he's okay. But Ed Kerstedter's 53 seconds back into 5th position, but the person to watch is going to be this number 1, the champ of Caleb Bensey, as he is 8 seconds back with Cohen Evans for this top 3 position. And again, position points go by 1. I corrected, thanks to Gary correcting me. The traditional IndyCar points, I think there's like a 7 or 8 point gap. I thought it was 12 or 13, 7 or 8. Here it's only 1 point separation. So right now, Caleb's lost 3 points to Eric O'Connor, which would put Eric up by 3 to 2. Yes, going into the Pocono race next week, which will be the 3rd and final round of the Grublets on Ice Captain TV Triple Crown events, 300-mile at Pocono. Somebody was testing earlier there at that race, I was told.
Track time.
just checking with admins to see if there were any penalties. See if he gets my drift of that question. As Isaac Moore's coming up behind him. We have that kind of relationship. I can just kind of throw little marks like that. He'll know what I mean and kind of laugh at me about it. Yeah, did you forget something? Did you forget about me? Did you forget about Dre? Anyways, great stuff. Yes, you got a Dr. Dre reference in the IndyCar broadcast. That just happened. So Isaac within 3/10. And looking back at Cohen Evans, it's still an 8-second difference. So Caleb has not made up any time on Cohen at all so far. Let's look at the lap times of 46. Eric and Isaac ran the same exact lap. Put that how you want it.
Eric
Cohen
taking a bit of a defensive line going down into turn 5 here. So he's Isaac was not in the draft there. He was trying to take a look on the outside.
All right, so that time by Caleb Bensi was actually almost a full second faster than Cohen Evans. So I stand corrected on that. So a full second he's going to need to gain. He's still 8 back. He needs 2 a lap pretty much. He's going to have to run his quickest laps right now. Qualifying laps for Caleb Bensi to get to 3rd. Otherwise, he will finish 4th, which still is not a bad run. I mean, that just shows you, I think, the 3 stoppers evened out with the 2 stoppers.
Yeah, and even finishing 4th for him, if he holds station, that's +3 from where he started. That's not a bad day at all, in my opinion.
How about Justin Miller, though? +6.
+6, yep.
Great job on his end. O'Connor, 3/10. Just looking through the standings here to see any other pretty good runs. Cody Claiborne up in 10th, doing a good job. Alex Van de Sant's come back to 9th after the 17 issues he's had. Shane Coogan up to 8th.
15 incidences for Alex.
I say that to be humorous, not to pick on him or anything. I mean, the poor guy. I feel terrible. He's had the worst season
I know.
like you could have out there. I mean, if luck wasn't a word, that's the definition.
Right.
I mean, last week it took him spinning out a guy accidentally and a penalty to get him a top 3 finish. So it was like even a bad thing happened in that race, and he still got a top 3 out of it.
And the special request to stay on the lead lap.
Which is still, I guess.
Get on the lead lap, please? Oh my goodness, Isaac is all over the back end of Eric right now.
So you think the fuel mileage is probably okay now between these two. Yeah, I mean, you would think at 3 to go, it's kind of got to go, boys. You get on the lead lap. That's awesome. I'm listening to us in my phone as I'm just hearing us laughing about it. It's great.
Isaac's got to run through the kink. He is right there. I don't think he's going to have enough to get the pass off, though, but he is right there.
How tough is this corner right here, Canada corner? Obviously, I've driven it, so I know how tough it is. But you being the more experienced guy out of the two of us, how tough is that corner?
Well, you are coming from the fastest part of the racetrack, and you're getting it down to 40, 50, 60 miles per hour. It does have a nice little runoff area there that you can kind of overflow into if you have to. I actually personally like the corner. I really don't have a problem with it. You can get into it pretty deep, and it's pretty forgiving on the exit. So I don't really have a problem with Canada corner, to be honest.
I'm just thinking of how tough it is. Just think about there's a little bit of an elevation there, like a very slight. It's not much, but enough to where you can easily get in that corner, and your car will snap around it.
Yeah. A lot of that has to do with brake glass, where you got your brake glass set. Yeah.
But the one of the more, I think, underestimated things about that corner is you look down here, you're braking about the 200 mark here going into this corner. Me, it's probably more like the 600 mark, which doesn't exist. But then you come up the hill here, and there's really not my braking mark's usually about the bridge. And you come into the corner, but then wait a second, and when we get down to Canada corner, because when I tell you where you almost have to brake at, it's going to be like, whoa, that far back? Because it just seems like, I don't know what it is about that corner, if it's a de-wedging type of corner where it almost makes your car turn a different way rotating-wise or something, but it always felt weird to me when I was in that corner compared to turn 5. Turn 1, turn 2, similar corners to that corner.
It's a higher. You're just coming in at the faster approach speed. I think that's not the only thing I can think. I mean, and again, you're not running full speed back, so it's going to feel a little bit different to you.
You're
than it
braking
does for
about
me,
here.
Yeah.
And then look at the corner. I mean, you're kind of climbing a little bit there, and it's, I mean, I don't know. There's something about it just tricky to me. I'm a rookie. What do I know? Give me the yellow stripe. Put it on the back. All right, white flag coming out for the TI Racing team, who are looking to take control of this team championship, and Eric O'Connor looking to take control of this season. White flag, 4 miles to go at Road America. Hey, Gary, pop quiz. Who won the other Road America race season 2? He's running second.
Isaac. Isaac. That would be
Isaac.
I mean, when it comes to road course races in this league, I mean, you could pretty much guess on one hand who it might be, and most of those would be Isaac anyway. So.
Isaac won that race by 8 seconds over Cohen Evans. Now he's got Eric O'Connor to see if he can get around him and be the only winner in this track's history. Both of them get through turn 5, which is pretty tough. Up the hill to turn 6, also pretty tough.
I imagine Chris is pretty happy right now, but he wants these two to finish the class.
He might be doing the Will Power's wife squeezing of the bottle right now up in the admin booth.
Oh,
like, don't wreck each other. Don't wreck each other.
Yeah,
don't wreck each other. Please don't wreck each other.
Isaac's there.
Through the carousel for the
Running
final time.
a little wide in the carousel. Oh. Does that allow Isaac to get a run? Nope.
Eric O'Connor
So that's
through this final passing section right here. Come to Canada
Yep.
corner. Isaac there, but can't make the move.
But he's still close enough that he
is
can maybe
close
make
enough.
that run. Probably up to, oh,
Turn
yeah, we still got
14.
We still got push the passes to use. Here we go. Here we go. It's
Eric
gonna be a
pulled him
drag
there in
race.
the left-hander. Here he goes. Isaac caught that curve a little bit too much. I think that's it.
That's it.
How about this
Yep.
one? 60% of his starts, he's gone to victory lane. Eric O'Connor has won the LMCgear.com Grand Prix at Road America.
And 0 incidents.
Hey, there you go, a double banger.
Yeah.
TI Racing sweeps the 1-2 position after qualifying 1-2.
The
Cohen
victory
Evans,
formation cooldown lap there.
pretty cool deal between them two. And back here,
Now, let's not forget about Cohen. Yeah, let's get Cohen on there.
yeah,
for the
Cohen
podium.
here going to get the podium. He's going to hold off Caleb Benty. Held him off by, 3 seconds. That's it. So Caleb caught up a good amount, but respectable job on his part. Ed Kerstetter, a good comeback from his rough race. And he's actually doing the, oh boy. Ed is doing the, the Isaac Morris strut down the straightaway. Isn't that what we called it?
It's the weave.
The weave, but yeah, the Isaac Morris strut. Or what, we had a name
Yeah.
to it. I can't remember now.
The shuffle.
Yeah.
I like the weave a little bit better.
Yeah, I guess that works good. We'll let these guys finish up before. It's a good way to lighten up a mood in case he might not be too thrilled after what happened with the incident with Dan Marrera a little bit ago. There wasn't contact made, but unfortunate circumstances there. Some might complain that there was a team situation there. I mean, we'll let them make the call on that. We're not here to criticize. We're just calling it like we see it. So, but Justin Miller, nice job, 6th. Dakota DeMed going to finish 7th, and all that 4 right out. Haven't seen that before. Shane Coogan finishing 8th. Basically what that means is when somebody crosses the line, they're probably not in a good mood or just want to be done, and they just hit all that 4 out of the race. They go.
Yep, done. Yep,
They're
done.
gone.
Yep.
So, all right. Wow, what a race that was, Gary. I mean, you couldn't help but be entertained. The strategy did it. I mean, the 2-3 stop strategy with the tires, a lack of a fall off here. The two guys down here discussing it on my screen, even the two. He's like, I can't believe 3 stops actually did that well. Can you believe that? Yeah. Those guys are discussing it. We're discussing it. And what a great race it was.
Yeah, normally we've been blessed with the last couple of weeks to have some pretty exciting road course races. Normally that they can be snoozers where you get one guy checks out and everyone else is kind of racing for best in class for second place. And we've been kind of blessed here the last couple of weeks to have some pretty exciting races for everyone to watch at home.
And we're gonna
Hope
leave
they
it
like
in your we're gonna leave it in your hands next week to do it on the oval. By the way, no pressure.
I will do everything in my power.
So, all right. Well, let's just bring the team up here. I'm debating right now. Do we have the team punish their owner / admin for not utilizing all the tools? But needless to say, tonight a great race between you, Eric, and Isaac. Strategy. Let's talk that. It looked like you two were pretty much working together to help each other finish first and second in that race.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we kind of came in and we were looking at this as like a really good opportunity to get a 1-2. We both felt we were pretty even on pace. I think Isaac had the edge of me a little bit, but we just kind of started working together and it just kind of ended up working out where I was ahead, and we just kind of kept working and yeah, just hitting mileage, hitting numbers. We were a little worried about engine temp for a majority of the race because we realized not long after the first stop that the engine temps were pretty hot. So for a lot of the back half of the race, we were just riding around taking care of the engine and hitting mileage.
Well, I don't know if the viewers can notice this. It's funny because as there was a couple seconds ago as you were talking, Eric, I'm looking over here at my screen, and I saw the Briggs and Stratton Bridge, which is, in matter of fact, you'll get a shot here if you're looking at the Sargento picture on my screen. I'm noticing a little bit of a haze in front, so it's obviously pretty hot down there on the track, it looks like.
Yeah, it was weird. In the beginning, it felt grippy, but also kind of hot. Like, I don't know if you guys caught it, but I kind of locked it up a couple times in the first couple laps, which caught me off guard. Wasn't anything too serious, and luckily Isaac wasn't looking to pounce right then and there, so it all worked out pretty okay. But yeah, I definitely got caught off a little bit by that, and then just it felt better as it went on, but I definitely was struggling a bit in the first stint on the Reds.
Interesting here. We got the weather actually up on the screen real quick in this little box. 73 right now. It's just about 5 o'clock track time. So you're looking at 73 with a 77-degree track temp. So it's not hot. So it's just interesting that did that to you. Maybe is it the fact that you're on the throttle so long, maybe?
The opening stint was definitely warmer than what we finished with. I don't know exactly how much, but it was definitely a noticeable amount.
I believe it was 77 when we went on air. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I think it was 77 track or ambient.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but it definitely felt more like the track felt more greasy at the start than at the end. Like I said, it was a weird combo because like it felt greasy but very grippy at the same time. So it's really interesting for me going off of how where qualifying was and being used to how the car felt then.
Well, and we talked a little bit off the air too, Eric, and maybe this comes back to that factor too. The tire wear didn't seem to be there at all. But it almost seemed like obviously the tires have to warm up. Maybe that was playing the slick factor on you.
Yeah, the tires, I mean, like I kind of talked to you, the tires are really weird. The pace-wise, the fall-off wasn't super bad, but the feel in them was kind of sketchy. Like, it would, at least for me, like, I felt really uncomfortable in the back half of the stint, pretty much regardless of what tire I was on. But my lap times would be more or less the same. I believe I felt the Reds were quicker than the Blacks for the most part, but not by an absolute ton. And yeah, it was really weird feel with the tires pretty much all race. Like I never had a super comfortable feel.
Gary, you got anything for Eric?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, I think you just basically played everything by the book tonight. It seems like it was pretty much just the strategy that you guys played to a T. It changes a little bit next week. You go to an oval. Is the strategy to continue to do the same? I mean, it's a little bit tougher to do what you kind of did on an oval, what you did tonight.
Yeah, definitely. As I said last week after Mid-Ohio, I still feel like Pocono is going to be the decider in this championship. Obviously, anything can happen at Spa still, so I'm not saying Pocono is going to be the final. But I feel like Pocono is going to be what really shapes this championship going into the final round at Spa. And I definitely, I know my results haven't totally shown it on the ovals so far, but I feel pretty confident there. I'm very comfortable on the ovals. I mean, I had a really good salvage at Indy that's coming out to be really, really beneficial right now.
Mhm.
And I mean, the goal is going to be to just not lose points at Pocono. Like that, whatever that ends up being is what it ends up being. Obviously, if I have an opportunity to gain points, of course, that's always good too. But the main goal for me is just to manage the race at Pocono as best I can to keep myself in one piece and manage the points so I can go into Spa with the point lead, hopefully, and put myself in a good position to win the championship. But Caleb's doing a hell of a job. He had a tough race tonight, it seemed, and he seemed to bounce back for a pretty good finish. So,
Yeah, great job on your end, Eric. Send shout out to whoever you like to, bud.
yeah, big shout out to TI Racing and Chris Lewis for once again getting me involved in this and giving me a good opportunity here to show my talent. And I feel really good about this team. I feel really good about where we're at in the team standings, and hopefully we can come out with the team title and maybe the driver's title too.
Well, nice job, Eric. We'll talk to your teammate here, Isaac. Isaac, I was going to ask Eric this, but I want to leave this question for you. Let's talk that pit strategy at the end of the race. You came in one lap before Eric. Was that a planned pit stop between you two to do that to kind of not mess up each other on pit road, or was that something where you just decided to go because you were short on fuel compared to him?
Yeah, I was a bit short on fuel. It was because the second stint Eric spent most of his time behind me instead of the first stint where I spent most of my time behind Eric. So obviously the draft helps the fuel saving a lot. So I didn't have the draft again. But in general, I just didn't have enough to go that extra lap, but then I had enough to do. Then I definitely knew I had enough to do the rest of the race. But there was a little bit of fuel saving towards the end just to be safe. I think I finished the race with 3 liters of fuel, so I still had plenty in the tank to push. But yeah, there was no need to push.
Well, you still did a great job this evening, and you obviously didn't race last week because you had some issues with your wheel. Tonight you ran that race with the wheel issues. How did it feel?
Like hell. I'm not too sure if the broadcast caught it, but going into the corner before the carousel, there was a moment where I just dipped my wheel on the grass, and that was it. I was like, no, this is going to be the end of the race, but I somehow managed to save it. I don't know how I pulled that out of my ass, but I really don't know. But the force feedback problem is a big one, and it's slightly frustrating. But I did my job tonight, and I'm happy with the way that we finished.
Selfishly, I'll ask, did the advice help a little bit?
It did, yes, actually, because as soon as the wheel hit the grass, or the tires hit the grass, I heard the grass being chopped up. So as soon as I heard that, I got off the brake, and I think me getting off the brake so quickly helped me control the car. Obviously I missed the corner, but I'd rather miss the corner than end up being in the wall because I locked my wheels or started spinning. And also as well, if I quickly slowed down as well, it might have affected Eric, and so yeah, it was a bit sketchy, but we're alive.
I'm going to take a humble victory lap around my house here after the race. Nice job, Isaac, man. Congratulations. Good to have you back. Obviously, I know it's been a tough season personally and on the iRacing sim for you. And obviously, congratulations, too, on the other league. You get the championship over there. And so it's been a good week, we'll say, for you. But shout out to whoever you'd like to.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to Chris for being such an amazing team boss.
Suck up.
He does a really good job. I will say, he gets us in the right mindset on race day. He tells us what he wants out of us, and then we try our very best to get what he wants. And I feel like if we didn't have him dictating to us what he wanted, I feel like today's race could have ended up very differently. So he does a good job on his half. And
Gary, why do I picture these two sitting in like a locker room with a coach with glasses on, a mustache, a clipboard, just yelling at these guys?
I don't think he's quite Wooden-esque yet, but give him a couple championships and he might get there.
Yeah, he's only got like 10 to get, right, or something like that. I think it
Right,
is.
right, yeah.
Nice. Well,
consecutively.
Well, Chris, go ahead, share your thoughts there. These two ran well together, and well, here's this guy on the screen. He's just sitting there waiting. He thinks the race is still going, apparently. But nice job on your part, and congrats to the team.
Yeah, thank you. I couldn't be happier with these two. I couldn't be happy with Isaac being the captain of the team this year. He's really stepped up, and this win's all on him. Whether he says it's me or Eric or whatever, it's really him. So points lead, it's all up to him. Points lead for Eric, it's all because of Isaac. Couldn't ask for a better captain.
Isaac Morris and the Holy Grail coming out in theaters later this year. Nice job, Isaac. Congratulations to you guys on the win. And second place, get the lockout just like you did on the front row tonight. And we will talk next week on the triangle. Don't call it oval. What turn 4 at Pocono Raceway? It's the truth, Isaac. Just saying.
He just got a sticker. Isaac's like,
Has
it's
he
an
has he
oval.
not heard that? Oh, come on.
yeah, I know on turn 3 there's like a thing that says what turn 4.
Yeah,
I
right,
have
because
seen that.
all right. Apparently, in your home country, they have not taught a triangle. There's 3 different ones. 4 if you count Pocono. Anyways, all right. Nice job to you guys, and congrats on your
Thank
wins,
you,
guys.
Thank you. I do just want to say Isaac really did do a hell of a job tonight with the force feedback issue. Like, seriously, I was telling him the whole way. For once, I was actually in the Discord talking with the boys, and seriously, he did a hell of a job tonight. Like, really, round of applause for him.
Nice. There you go. For your force feedback issues, talk to the captain. He's a pro at it. All right. Nice job, guys. I say that because literally for every...
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I have... This is the God's honest truth. Ever since I've been on iRacing, I have not ran with force feedback. I've not. Never have.
It's amazing.
It's just a feel to me. And everybody's got their preference. So it's one of those things that like I'm used to. I mean, the wheel, I just turn it and it turns most of the time.
Well, it's always a pleasure to talk to Coach Norman Dale and the Hickory Huskers there. So.
Hey, it's better than the Frankfurt hot dogs. Anyways, all right. Cohen Evans joining us from third place. Nice job on your end, Cohen. I know you had a little bit of a whoopsies moment there early in the race, but you come back and get yourself a top 3.
Yeah, my tires were just super dead there at the end, and I was just holding on, trying to not let Alex fly as long as possible, but that was it. That was the straw that broke the camel's back, and let Alex fly, but good race. That was really my only incident. Other than that, it was fairly clean and not much to really talk about.
Well, I mean, you backed up what you did 2 seasons ago. In Season 2, you were second to Isaac. Tonight you finished third behind Isaac and obviously Eric O'Connor. So you backed up the run tonight. The track, though, it just seems slick. And it didn't seem like it was from the tire wear. We talked with the other guys about it. It seemed like it was more just from heat of some kind, if it was the tire heat maybe, or it doesn't seem like it's from the track. The track wasn't too hot, it seems.
I think it was part of the tires. I don't know if it's like the new tires or what, but it's like, I think it's part of the setup too. It's just, in some turns you get a super understeering, and some turns all it wants to do is spin. So it's like, you got to manage tires the entire stint, and at the end you finally see like, all right, are my tires good, or am I gonna spin every other corner? That's kind of what happened to me in the first stint, and I ended up saving tires a little bit for the next 2, so it wouldn't happen again.
Well, Cohen, that was a fantastic job, and I'm just thinking and taking notes in my head of what you guys are telling me. I wonder if the rubber on the track, maybe if it was a preset rubber maybe did something. Because, usually, like, if you start a race with 0 state, there's, it's a clean track with marbles and stuff. You clear all that off. You wonder if the rubber getting laid on the track was causing it to get like that.
Yeah, it's possible, but I also think, like, right at the beginning when these new tires were released, I remember I was in a hosted session at this track, and that was before we had any setup, so I was just running baseline, and the car just was, like, 10 times worse. It was, like, spinning on the second lap, and it was, like, impossible to control, so I was building a setup for that, but it didn't matter because VRS came out with one a day later.
Nice. Well, Cohen, nice job tonight. Great third-place finish for you. And Jungle Fever, according to Dan Marrera on the stream. Nice job, Cohen. Send shout-outs if you'd like to.
Shout out LNC Gear for sponsoring this race. All my teammates. They helped me a lot with deciding which strategy I was going to do tonight. I was debating there for a little bit to try and do 3 stops, but I think they convinced me to do 2. Yeah, I'd like to thank you guys for doing this really awesome product you guys are putting together.
No, we appreciate that, Cohen. And, we congratulate you on your top 3 finish, and we will see you. What shape is Pocono?
I believe it's a Dorito shape.
I give up.
He is correct.
It is kind of honest, actually, right?
He is
Depending
correct.
on which chip. It's not the folded one. You always get that one folded chip. But, yeah, it's pretty accurate. So, nice job, Cohen. We'll give you that. All right, buddy. So, you see right now, put it back on the screen here for a second, the final lap of the race. And the reason why I'm putting the final lap of the race up on the screen is that at first I was like, Gary, you know what? I could use any of the passes for the lead that we had tonight. But let's just be honest. Tonight was a team domination by TI Racing. So instead of tonight calling it the spicy overtake of the race, we're just going to call it the spicy dominate of the race by the...
Well,
I mean, I think this is fair.
I guess you could technically say that they did overtake race first in the team standings to definitely have the lead. So I guess you could call it at that if you would wish to stick in theme.
I like that. Yes, the world champion Tom Hoover's Happy Trails chili seasoning mix. The spicy overtake of the race is, yes, well, not only that, but the spicy overtake of Eric O'Connor will be the point leader next week by 3, if I did the math right. So TI Racing taking over in a spicy way the points lead of both team and driver points with this final lap right here from Eric O'Connor and Isaac Morris. So congratulations to them for that. The Tom Hoover's Happy Trails chili seasoning mix, all you got to do is add sauce, water, and meat, and voila! You got Tom Hoover's Happy Trails chili seasoning mix now available on Amazon, so make sure you check that out. So, one last thing we're going to do before we get off the air, Gary, and I'm doing this because I'm a sassy type guy. I like to cause trouble. A lot of people call me sarcastic, whatever you want to call me, I don't care. That's the first word that came to my mind. I'm a troublemaker. So I'm going to type this in real quickly. If I want to make sure I don't spell something wrong, because this would be very poetic justice if I spelled something wrong in here. All right.
Where are we typing it?
Over here on my screen. You're not going to see it.
Okay.
This is all for fun, as always. We appreciate all the viewers watching. But I figured we're going to have some fun here. So, basically, that was supposed to show up on the screen tonight. And it didn't. So you would have seen, if any penalties came in tonight, that. I jokingly say thank you.
He was managing his team.
He's the admin. You're not a team owner at that point. Come on. We know that. Biased racing. Come on. We're just kidding around, obviously. Hey, we appreciate all the viewers watching us this evening. Next week, the one-man show returns to Monday night on the Pocono. It'll be a very fun race next week. The Triple Crown, the final race of the Grublets on ice IndyCar or Captain TV Triple Crown race. This is what happens when I try to multitask at one time. It's failing me miserably. We will be on the air next week at the usual time, 7:45, unless somehow Pocono turns into an all-night race also. Then we'll be there for the Grublets on Ice Pocono 250, brought to you by the NSRP Motorsport. 100-lap race there at the Pocono Raceway, 250 miles at that track. Gary, final thoughts before we get out of here.
You know, I'm happy to hear that the oval will be the deciding factor of this championship. So just it shows the importance of them needing to be on the schedule, whether people like them or not. But I'm going to definitely be at this next one. I'm going to give it my best effort. The track owes me from the Velocity Online Racing League race we had there. I had a solid top 10 run all day, and just didn't work out in my favor. And I think I know what needs to be done. I just need to execute. So that's what I'm looking forward to. There's nothing standard of an oval about Pocono. It's going to be challenging for everybody. The dirty air, the multiple different corners, different lines. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a challenge. It's not just going to be going around and turning left in circles. It's actually going to be some work for some folks. So I'm hoping that it will definitely be the deciding factor in the championship before we move on to Spa.
There we go. So let's get out of here because it is starting to get dark, I've noticed. So it's almost 5:30 this time here. So, all right, we're heading to Pocono. We'll see you tomorrow night. Actually, I'll be streaming my own self-racing tomorrow night from Indianapolis. I get my own Brickyard race, so that'll be a lot of fun there. And then Wednesday night, the Great Lakes Sim Racing Series, they are going to be at a racetrack that I can't think of off the top of my head. Somewhere in America.
Turning the wheel.
They got to turn left. I know that. Anyways,
okay, good.
So we'll have that for you coming up Wednesday night. Sorry, I've tried to do a promoter, but this is what I get for not writing things down. All right, we're out of here. We're done rambling. So you guys enjoy the rest of your Monday evening. For Gary Godso and the track guy at Turn 5, still waiting for him to get here. I'm the captain. Remember, it's not just a game. It's our racing. See ya!
And now the wait is over. The nerves have taken their toll. Ooh. Let go.